Hello, welcome to Dev Action YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about a quite interesting application because it includes three different source code repositories which are available for anyone to see on GitHub. Three different also software development platforms and two different programming languages. So the idea of the application is quite simple. The source of data, it's an Android phone. In this case, it's my own phone, but for the sake of this demo, I'm gonna use this Android emulator. And the location updates that are gathered by the GPS of the phone are gonna be sent through HTTP secure protocol to a Java backend, which is going to be running on the cloud. It's going to be this tiny Amazon Lightsail instance, just 512 megabytes of RAM, but it should be enough for this demonstration. And then ultimately, the live location updates are going to be pushed asynchronously from the point of view of the client, which is going to be a Angular web application. Okay, so let's have a look at the front end, at the web UI based on Angular. So let's access it. This is the URL, https mylocation.devaction.net. And the first time I access it, I get this warning, your connection is not private. But actually, that's not entirely true because I could check, right, the certificate. I'm getting this because the browser doesn't recognize the certificate because it has been self-signed by me. It has not been signed by a certificate authority. But that doesn't mean that I could get some security if I know what I'm doing. So before I even go and I click on advance and proceed, I'm gonna inspect the certificate. So it says that the certificate is invalid, but actually we could validate the certificate because here is the fingerprint, uh, this hexadecimal digits, and you can see that if I go to my blog, I posted the fingerprint, and you can see that these digits match. So that means that this certificate was not signed by a well-known certificate authority, but you can be sure that it was signed by me and not by anyone else. So if you trust me, then you can trust this certificate. Anyway, let's proceed to the website because now we have checked that the fingerprint of the certificate match what we expected. And then we have the UI, which is quite minimalistic. It's basically almost empty because it's waiting for data to be pushed to the Angular client. So let's do that. This is my application, right? I mean, I have it here installed, I can open it, and the location service is enabled. This service sends location updates around 10, 15 minutes. It depends. It's Android operating system, the one who gets to decide when to collect the, um, the data from the GPS and also when that data should be pushed to the Java backend, and from the Java backend push to the Angular frontend. So since we don't want to wait, I'm gonna stop the service. So now it's disabled, and I'm gonna enable it by clicking again. And now that I have just enabled the service, the Android service, we already got the first location update. So if I click on it, I can see the details. I can see the latitude, the longitude, and also I can see that it was gathered a few minutes ago. And here I have a link. So if I open it, it opens Google Maps, and actually you can see that the point in the map which is highlighted, it's the Google headquarters are at Mountain View. So yeah, that's because I'm not using a real phone, but I'm using the Android emulator. Okay, so after having had a peek at the location of the Google offices in California, thanks to this promotional trick, let's go back to the UI. You didn't notice, but a few minutes have passed, and now we have a new location update that was, automatically loaded into the UI by Angular, and we can see that if I click on it, uh, the time measure it's the same as before. You see, the time measure is it was at 10:25. The location is the same, the latitude and the longitude. But the time check it was 10 minutes after. You see, 10:35, and the previous update you see 10:26. Okay, not 10 minutes but 9 minutes. So it means that the service under which is running under my application uh, after 9 minutes contacted the Google service which provides GPS updates, and this Google Android GPS service provided exactly the same location because it's cache. You see, the time measure is still 10:25. The time check is different. Okay, so if I left this tab open, we would keep getting live location updates from the backend, from the phone. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up because I could talk for hours about this application. Feel free to have a look at the code. As I said, there are three different repositories. This is the front end, which is Angular. This is the backend, which contains actually two artifacts: the API classes, which are built on using Java 7, so they can be compatible with Android. So that way I can use the same API artifact in the backend and also in the Android client. And yeah, I could also mention that yeah, I'm actually using Vert.x for the backend, so it's not the typical boring Java backend, but this Vert.x is quite interesting framework because it allows you to easily create reactive applications in Java. And yeah, I'm also using SockJS Bridge, which is also provided by Vert.x, which is able to create WebSockets under the hood between the Angular client and the Vert.x backend, and so on and so forth. So maybe I will make some follow-up video, but that's all for now. Thank you.